Hey folks, Andy Navarre here. What I'm doing today is going to give you guys a quick kind of tutorial on some things that Tony Rice played on the famous Muleskinner blues track. Rory sent me this a couple days ago, and I was kind of looking through it, and it has some kind of interesting things that I've never kind of taught as a teacher. So hopefully you get some things out of this. And again, the main point of this though is to get subscribe to Rory's page, or Relic Guitars here. I'm actually using one of his famous guitar picks, and all the happenings going on through Missouri bluegrass. So he's kind of a great intermediary that brings folks together from all walks of life, but puts on great festivals and just an all-around great guy. So I figured I'd just throw this out for him, and if you like what you hear, just check out his page and subscribe, and then you can hear more of this kind of stuff down the line. Now getting to this tune, this is again the Muleskinner Blues. So this is a really kind of famous Tony Rice track. He played on Cold on the Shoulder, and it's really kind of has a lot of his vocabulary that's playing throughout the key of G. So I'll just kind of, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I'll just kind of show you a couple tips that you guys can hopefully put into your own playing. One thing I can start off right away with is the way that Tony Rice sometimes approaches just a G note. So if we're in the key of G, that's a big one. So that's just the 3rd fret. Sometimes he'll approach it from the 2nd fret. Sometimes he'll approach it from the 1st fret. Simple enough, right? Okay. That may not seem like much, but if you're playing a lot of the same vocabulary over and over, these little ear catchers will be good for you to kind of be able to navigate through variations. In other words, there's a slight difference in sound there, and you want to be able to kind of hear that. For instance, the way he starts the solo. He starts on the 2nd fret, not the 1st. Then he goes to the 1st fret. Then he goes to the famous pull-off. Okay, let me try that again, just the first phrase. Now, all these phrases have a lot in common with each other. Mostly they're notes using the blues scale, and notes that correspond to blues in the key of G. So we got a lot of F notes here, we got a lot of B flat notes here. And it's very similar to minor pentatonic playing. Now one thing that Tony does, and I didn't catch up on this till years later, you know, I grew up listening to him and playing all that kind of thing, is the way he does pull-offs most of the time. So this is a characteristic move that Tony would always do. Okay? So I'm doing a pull-off, then I'm doing a slide from 3rd to 4th fret. Now what I'm saying is for the pull-off, Tony would actually push up with his finger like that. A real subtle thing. Most folks pull down. See if next time you can do a pull-off, push up. And with that being said, he would use that. He would use that as an upstroke as well. Okay. Now on his lower strings, he would tend to, with his pull-offs at least, push up as well. In other words, so if I'm on the 3rd fret of the 4th string, you would push that string up as opposed to pull it down. I'm not very good at that, but if you really kind of want to zone in on that Tony Rice sound, try it out. Okay. But I get a couple of these little licks together, and then you kind of got some basic vocabulary of the Tony Rice school, this bluesy stuff. Okay, so I'm just kind of putting together some of these licks, just in order. Don't have to play the solo piece by piece. Again, I have the tablature if you guys would like to look through it. The big thing though, yeah, those articulations. See if you can push your finger up for the pull off on these low strings, and same for those low to medium strings. Now his right hand is doing what Tony Rice does. It's very, very kind of difficult to explain, but the general idea is it's efficient. In other words, it's not using straight alternate picking up or down. It's using whatever's the most efficient for the time being. Okay. One thing I could kind of show you guys as far as picking is the way he would play consecutive open strings. Okay. So let me take something like this. So if you hit your G string, then you hit your D string, right? He would almost always play that with 2 upstrokes. Now, why would he do that? Because probably what's coming next is this. So he's setting it up for the slide on that low string. Just a simple little thing like that can kind of keep you busy for hours. Okay, that's kind of a lot different than most guitar teachers would teach you how to play, which is strict alternate picking. Tony Rice never did that with his playing. So it's very kind of interesting facet of his playing. The chord he plays here is just a G7. Okay, so in other words, a G7 leads to C. So what he's doing there is kind of hanging out on that G7, which is the 3rd fret on the 4th string, and the 1st fret on the 1st string. Okay, and that's in the melody as well. Kenny Baker plays that almost exact lick. You'll hear it in the original recording. Okay, going to the C chord, he does a nice little hammer on. So in other words, he's working into the chord. These sequences needs to be practiced and listened to a lot, but you can take any little part of this and kind of learn it by itself, and it'll help you with your bluegrass guitar playing. Just kind of scan this for one more little thing to talk about. When he goes to the D chord, this is my favorite part of the solo. It's really cool. So he's going to hit the D chord like this, which is basically, it's just a D chord. Okay, so we should probably know that that's not this D chord, but it's very similar. It's just a different inversion. Now that's the note you're looking for at the end, is that pinky at the 5th fret, which is the 7th. Nice little line there, almost kind of jazzy sounding. He doesn't let them ring like that. Let me try it again. Okay, that's over the D chord. And the famous ending lick, which is, if you're going to get any lick out of this, you might want to get this tail end lick, which is I call it the Vassar Clements lick. So cool, if you're a nerd like me. So what's going on is again, it's harkening back to the beginning where I was talking about him sometimes using an F sharp, sometimes using an F. But what he's doing is open G, slide into the 4th fret, 3rd fret on the 2nd string, 2nd fret on the 1st string. Then I'm switching fingerings because he's going to jump back here. That's the key to this, is the fingerings. Watch closely, I'll slow it down, see if you can watch the fingering trick. There it is. So I switched it out to my ring finger right there so I can do the pull off. If you don't do that, you'll never be able to play that in up to speed. So it's a nice little subtle thing that Tony does on this. Okay, so watch the finger in there. In the tap, I have that notated with the correct fingering. Do that one more time. So, a lot of good stuff in the solo. Again, this is just a brief overview, but again, the idea being is check out some of the content that Roy has on his site, Facebook site, and hopefully get some of us more connected down the road, especially us Missouri players who have been kind of locked up during this whole COVID thing, and get us back to hopefully talking and picking soon throughout the Missouri area. So, again, my name is Andy Navarra. Just a fellow guitar picker, more of a mandolin player, but check out this Muleskinner blues. It's a great one to learn from and kind of cherish as far as Tony Rice stuff goes. It's a very, very special tune that he played, and only he could do it the way he did. So I think that'll be all for today. Hopefully pick with you folks down the line. You all take care and support Relic Guitars and Picks. Take care.